Back Snappy Tomato Pizza with Coach Jason James. Big night for you to order pizza. It's a big football night, national championship. LSU and Alabama. The first final of that game, the matchup was 9-6. Coach, any predictions on tonight's game?
I think Alabama will win that football game tonight. I think that Coach Saban's really good at making adjustments. I think the Alabama players will be a little more hungry after last time. I almost guarantee you the final score will not be 9-6 tonight. There'll be a couple more points scored, but I think Trent Richardson has a heck of a day and Alabama wins.
Think it'll be in the 20s?
Yeah, it won't be much more than 20, but there'll be some point scores, some special teams points. I mean, somebody will have a block punt or block something, and there'll be some more special teams than last game, but I think Alabama will control the possessions, and Trent Richardson will run wild, and they'll win that game.
Okay, I'm going to write it down. You know, what's funny is that broadcasters and analysts and all these guys, especially with football games, are supposed to say this is going to happen or that. It never happens. Whatever they say is going to happen never happens, and it's always the unexpected.
Yeah, you're right. But I would almost take my money to the bank that Trent Richardson is going to have a big day because he didn't have a big day last time.
Yeah.
And when you got great players like that on a grand stage, he's going to get about 25 touches, and he's going to try to run wild over.
You know, the one thing I hate about football, though, unlike basketball, is they wait so long to play. I mean, when was their last game? I can't imagine keeping them. I mean, I know the kids are focused automatically, but that's got to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think the toughest part is to simulate a regular week of practice when it's a month later. Because they had to probably give them a week off. They probably went home for Christmas or came back right around Christmas. So now in a month's time, you got to simulate. You got to go 1 week. Okay, this is what we usually do on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I mean, last time you played was a month ago.
Yeah.
Hard to get them retooled in. But then you think about what they're playing for.
Yeah.
National championship, and those kids will be ready to play.
Did you play football at all?
Yeah, I did. I played in high school 4 years.
Were you a fullback? Did you or no?
No, I was a tailback my senior year. My junior year, I played quarterback. And then I played defense. I played cornerback, and I played safety. And
what's tougher, point guard in basketball or quarterback in football?
Quarterback in football, because you have to know the different formations. You got to know where your guys are supposed to be. You have to know where the defense is going to be, and you have to know what to read. You got 3 steps. Then you got to pick up a guy who is supposed to be in the middle of the field, but he may be to your right, he may be to your left. Then you got to tell if it's man-to-man on the outside. All that's hard, man. Basketball, you just take the ball to the paint and you throw it to the open man. And if the open man's any good, he can make a shot.
Coach, let's look at some stats from our season, some things that stood out to me. Miles Taylor continues to have a big season. Didn't play as well the other night, but I didn't realize he's shooting 51% from the field.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those shots are in the paint, which is where we want him to make those shots. You know, he's made some elbow jumpers. He hadn't made many threes this year. He can step out and do that, but a lot of the times the touches he gets are in the paint, and he's able to finish.
And that tells you he's also leading the team in getting to the free throw line. 91 times, he's connected 62 times.
Yeah, he's hard to cover down there. And you know, being honest with you, we get on the referees a lot. Again, it's kind of off the subject, but he's a hard guy to guard, but he's also a hard guy to referee. Referees have told me that a number of times, that he's hard to referee because sometimes he initiates contact and sometimes he gets the contact initiated on him. And because he's a big body, because he kind of leans forward when he goes to score, it's hard to tell, is he initiating that or is he getting initiated on him? You know, his ball fakes and stuff. I mean, the way he plays, as physical as he is a lot of banging around in there. I mean, if you wanted to, every possession you could probably call a foul on Miles' guy. But every possession, you could probably call a foul on Miles, too. So he's very hard to officiate when he's in there just because of the physicality that he plays with.
I remember asking you in the beginning of the season to compare him to a former player so we'd get an idea of who he's like. I don't think he's like anybody. I don't even know anybody to compare him to. He has the potential to be in a league of his own.
Yeah, he's a different cat just because he's 6'7", he's about 255. And that's in the morning when he's at his lightest. I mean, he's probably more than that. He runs okay. He's kind of skilled, but not really skilled, if that makes sense.
He's raw.
Yeah. He can shoot it, but he can't really shoot it. You know, he can make an elbow jumper. He can make a three once in a blue moon, but that's not really what he's good at. He just kind of got old man's game, just effective, not super quick, not super bouncy, but knows how to get you in the air and lean into you, knows how to catch it and score quick. I mean, just kind of a different game, probably different than the OVC seen in a while, to be honest with you.
And I see in his eyes that he would love to be a point guard. I mean,
yeah, I don't look at that part of his eyes when he sees that. I kind of look away because I do not want him to be a point guard.
But he really,
ever.
For a big guy that's that big, he does have nice touch and soft hands around the basket.
Yeah, he
and
does.
Even on his jump shot.
Yeah, he does.
Those big guys usually shoot that flat, nasty line drive
stuff.
He does. He's got the perfect arc.
Yeah, he does. He's got nice touch on his jumper. He's got soft hands. He catches a lot of those balls around the rim. It's because of those soft hands. I wish he'd rebound a little more. Mm-hmm. You know, if he would be active to the ball and get his hand on it, he could probably swallow it. And we get to the other end.
And that's weird to me because he works so hard at other times. I see him. You wonder why he doesn't work that hard rebounding.
Because a lot of times when you talk about rebounds, you talk about the defensive end. You talk about getting a rebound and going to the offensive end. But on the other end, there's a direct correlation between him catching the ball and getting 2 points.
Mm-hmm. And we see him. Let me see what his offensive rebound numbers are compared to his. Well, he has 33 offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
that's because he can score.
He'll chase that thing when you can see it go in.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, that makes you work a little harder. And all our guys are like that. Yeah. We haven't quite understood that even when the ball's not going in, we got to guard and rebound. If Miles would concentrate on getting 7 defensive rebounds, he'd average 12 rebounds. Easy.
What was he like in high school?
A lot of the same, probably more raw than he is now. Brute strength is kind of what we used to say. He'd just go through people and score.
Well, and he didn't have a lot of competition his size, did he?
No, he didn't. He got in a lot of foul trouble because there wasn't a lot of guys his size, but he catches the ball on the block, man, and he's trying to go right through you and score. He's not trying to make a move. He's not trying to turn and face you. He's not trying to right-hand, left-hand jump hook. He's trying to go right through you and score. That's all he knew. If you stand there and take a charge, you get fouls on him easy. If not, then he'll probably get 30 on you.
I even see now a lot of his fouls are 15 feet away from the basket or more.
Yeah, not smart fouls. He's
a freshman, and I guess he's in his 18th game of his career.
Yeah, we forget that a lot. Yeah. We forget that a lot with a lot of our guys. I mean, nobody's got more than a year of NCAA basketball. We forget that. I forget it too. I mean, I'm not going to pretend. I forget that basketball is a game of experience. Guys, teams who win have experience. You can go through every team that we've played that has beaten us and look at their 1s, 2s, and 3s, and I guarantee you they're juniors or seniors.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd guarantee they're juniors or seniors. We're playing with sophomores and freshmen. That makes a difference.
And with Miles, help me here, at least since you've been here, I don't remember a better post player in his freshman season than Miles has been. As a freshman.
No, I'd really, really have to sit down and think. I don't think Cleve was really good as a freshman, but not as productive. Mm-hmm. Will Lewis was good as a freshman, but not as productive. Those guys have been good and shown the potential to be good, but nobody's been as productive as he has in his first year.
And maybe I don't remember who Cleve didn't start a lot. I don't think his freshman year, or Will, who was playing ahead of them.
Mikael Jones played ahead of him. Jason Thompson played ahead of him a little bit. Again, those guys were junior college guys. So Cleve came in as a prep school guy, and Will Lewis came in as a high school kid, and those guys learned. They were a little taller than Miles, but when you're talking about pure productivity, they weren't as productive as Miles has been.
Another stat that stands out to me is that Dane Smith is not the best shooter on our team, but he's shooting 52% from the field. And the other night, you'll have to help me at the game, I think it was the Southeast Missouri game, he's knocking down little baseline jumpers like he's done it his entire career.
Yeah, Dane's done a good job of getting in the gym and working on the gun, and he's also done good of understanding his range. He's not a three-point shooter, so we don't want him to hang out there around the three-point line. We want him to curl into that elbow, make those elbow jumpers. We want him to make those short corner shots. That's his range. He's starting to understand that. And, I mean, he's making shots. He's helping out our offense a lot. All about understanding your role and how you can help us.
Jeremy Washington, he made a turnover the other night, and I was flabbergasted because he's only made 15 this season, 45 assists to 15 turnovers.
Yep, old school.
That's ridiculous.
Just knows how to play.
Yeah.
No, I think he had 8 assists and 2 turnovers against Edwardsville. Mm-hmm. I mean, 8 rebounds. That's a heck of a night. 10 or 12 points, 8 assists. eight rebounds and 2 turnovers. Just knows how to play. I mean, he's one of those guys you got to have on the floor because he knows where the ball needs to go. He holds everything together. In our motion, in our 3-game, he holds everything together no matter what it is, and just a smart player.
Are there times when he should shoot more? Is he too unselfish at times?
Yeah, there are a couple times in the game the other night where I screamed at him. The problem is, and what our guys are still understanding is that the most unselfish play, the most unselfish shot is his shot. He had a shot in the short corner, wide open, but he tried to jump and pass it down to Miles. Well, Miles is trying to rebound.
Yeah.
So the most unselfish play was Jeremy's shot. That's the shot we need to take. And I applaud his efforts. I applaud all our guys for trying to make the extra pass. But now we got to be a little smarter in understanding that there doesn't need to be an extra pass. I'm right here, about 12, 15 feet from the rim. I've made this shot a million times. I'm just going to jump up and shoot it. We'll worry about the rest of that stuff on defense. So we're getting better at understanding that, and I wish he would be more aggressive with the ball in his hands. I wish he'd be more aggressive in the post.
And Troy King finally coming around. Really struggled in the early part of the season, and you just hoped every time he took a shot that one would finally fall, and now he's got that confidence back he had last season.
Yeah, he's starting to get rolling a little bit. Again, I think it's because he's gotten in the gym, and he's worked hard at it in the gym by himself, and just repetition. But working in the gym is a lot like working in the weight room. The more you lift, the stronger you feel, and the more confidence you have in yourself. The more you get in the gym and the more you shoot, the more confidence you have in your jumper. You're starting to see that a lot with Troy.
Interesting to see him on the perimeter because he's such long arms and he's tall. It's a different kind of shot that's tough to defend.
Yeah, sometimes it's almost a set shot. I wish it'd be a little quicker. Mm-hmm. But his ability to get his feet set, I think, is what's really, really helps him. A lot of times early, his feet weren't set, and he's just trying to throw it up there. And now he's getting his feet set. He's slowing down in his mind a lot more, as opposed to letting guys speed him up, and then he's speeding up in his mind. When he slows himself down, he can make a bunch of shots. You
know, you're right, and I've noticed that now that I think about it, because if a smaller defender is on him or if they're far enough away, you will see him take his time, knowing that he'll get it over them with no problem, and then take that shot instead of rushing it. You're right.
Right. Just a matter of being in the gym and getting back comfortable with your own game.
Coach, let's look at the schedule coming up. The Ohio Valley Conference grueling schedule continues. You have 3 games coming up on the road. We'll start with the Thursday night matchup at Eastern Illinois. Jeremy Granger again for the Panthers, having a big year, leading their team in assists and in scoring.
Yeah, always a tough team to play. Always a hard place to go into, Lance Arena. They'll be very well coached. They'll execute very well. I mean, we'll have to take care of the ball and be able to guard for 35 seconds. But very, very good team, playing very, very well.
And then next week, the Death Valley trip coming up.
Yeah, Death Valley, man. Don't even want to think about it.
Okay.
We got to go into Lance Arena and try to compete and play hard and see if we can't get over the hump.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.
Coach Jason James, again, the Skyhawks will play on Thursday night against Eastern Illinois. We'll have the broadcast from Charleston. The women's team tomorrow night outside of the conference playing in Jonesboro, Arkansas against Arkansas State. And we'll have that on Star 95.1. Special thanks to Coach Jason James for joining us here. Coach Kevin McMillan, who was on the radio with us earlier, Frank and the gang here at Snappy Tomato Pizza, and Robert back at our studios of WCMT. Don't forget that you can find out all you need to know about UT Martin basketball at utmsports.com on the World Wide Web. And thanks for listening to Skyhawk Talk on the Skyhawk Sports Network.